All right. Welcome back, folks, to the FF Face Off. Yes, this is part of the Face Off Sports Network, and we are about 2 hours away from 49ers Colts, which could seal some fates for fantasy football purposes. We're going to go through that. We'll go through the reactions. We'll go through what to look for next week. If you have any questions or comments, we have a few already. We'll go into those. Obviously, feel free to like the show. It helps us out immensely. My name is Michael Hopp. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I'm joined by Ben, who can be followed at FF Rabbit Dad. And Ben, I noticed in your undertag there, I don't know if that's from last week or if that's real. You said can't have nice things. So, how are you? How was your voice from last week? Elaborate on that. And yeah,
All right.
I
Well, the
give you a
voice
lot of one.
is, yeah, the voice has improved, as you can tell. I'm not struggling as we go along. It's not 100%, but it's good enough. Um, as in, can't have nice things. I mean, JJ McCarthy looking good for another week in a row, and then smacks his hand into a guy's helmet, can't hold on to a football. We're probably looking at another Max Brosmer week coming up against the Lions. Like, just can't have nice things. The offensive line's banged up. And like, so I figured
Just
I'd wear the broken bunny ears today too to kind of like,
oh, to
or when
to to intimate your
yeah,
sadness.
yeah, and in honor of my
Yeah.
Vikings all beat up and broken.
Okay. Well, in terms of and I see you guys coming in here in the comments. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna get to you guys. We're even gonna get some of the comments that were made prior to us going live. We were tardy. That was on me, not on Ben. But Ben, before we get into it, because a lot of people are gonna talk about this, do you have any matchups like tonight? Do you need something, not need something to
I mean, I don't need anything tonight. Like the one league. Like, okay, so I am not making the finals in any leagues. The biggest
ah
thing I can hope for going forward now is to win the points chat title in my home league, in which case I take home a pot. So I scored 160 this week. So I think I just took back first place going into next week. So
all right. Well, we'll
so
see how
yeah,
that goes then.
I
But
I,
yeah,
I got that to root for, and you know I'll probably make a bet with one of my brothers about in the family league to who can score the most points next week, just because we always do that. So
yeah. Well, I basically need 4 points in my home league. I need Kittle to score 4 points over Tyler Warren tonight in a PPR league to get me into the finals. Then I have another league where I'm down in a dynasty league by about 60 or so, but I've got
mm,
Purdy, I've got McCaffrey, I've got Juwan Jennings, and I've got the Niners
oh,
defense. So we'll see.
that's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
doable.
it's doable, but I'm not, that one's more of a, cautiously optimistic. I will just pull this up here because let me see this. Oh yeah. Um Jeff came in here early, said Dart screwed me over. Now I'm down 18 points, and my opponent has the 49ers defense, and I have McCaffrey. Thoughts? Down 18. I'll say this, and you guys see I'm wearing a Niners shirt. So I will tell you though, the Niners are not good at getting turnovers. So in terms of him starting the DST, I get it. Like you want to say it's against Philip Rivers, old man Rivers, but uh being down by 18 sucks. You need McCaffrey to go off tonight,
Hmm.
basically. I mean, I'd give you a 65% chance.
Yeah,
Ben, what would
I
you
think
give
I'm
me?
in that. Yeah, I'm in that like above 50% chance that you got it. I mean, you just need to get a solid day out of McCaffrey, and you just need Rivers to not implode into old man dust into the Niners defense. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
T Dob 1911 says I'm in a full PPR league and end by 44.
A
Oh,
full
he's up by
PPR
44
by
and up before.
44.
I
Yeah.
can't read. Reading is hard when you host. Pete has that problem. He's up by 44 and his opponent has CMC tonight. Yeah, I think you're fine then.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, I don't think CMC. I mean, I think CMC is going to do well. I don't think he's going to do 44 points well.
Yeah, you'd have to have a legendary night.
Yeah. I'm up by 22. My opponent has Kittle left. You're going to have at least PPR scoring and some bonuses on yardage for him to have a shot to beat you, Albert. I would say that, right? Would you agree with that, Ben?
Yeah, I think, even if you're playing full PPR, I think, 18 to 20 is probably the best hope in that situation. So it might look close, but I think you got it.
All right. And then we got Iggy coming here. Iggy 2122. Am I cooked? I was up by 30 last night. Henderson got hurt. That was a problem. And my opponent had Stevenson. That's another problem. I'm up by 13 now. He has Taylor, and I have CMC tonight. Tell me it's gonna be okay with a crying emoji. PPR, thanks.
So Taylor versus CMC with a 13-point advantage. I think I think you're good.
I don't know if I think he's good.
I mean, I think he's got. I mean, yeah, he could go. I mean, I'm
Like
not really high on the Colts offense. Like they are just spiraling into a full, cave-in status. Like it sucks for them because they've had such a good season. Daniel
Sure.
Jones, then getting Sauce Gardner, but it's all falling apart here at the end.
This is an absolute stack the box spot. Try saying that 3 times fast. Try saying it once at normal speed. But be that as it may, I mean, I do think that the Niners can stack the box here. The one thing I worry about, though, as much as I love my Niners, they have not been great at tackling this year. It's not like the swarm like people are used to with this 49ers defense. There's a lot of Olays, and I think Johnson, if you give Jonathan Taylor an Olay, he could take it to the house. So I'm gonna say I'm a tad worried. You were up by 30, now you're up by 13. It's dicey. You have a shot, clearly, but just your asshole's gonna be a little tight tonight. That's all. Yeah.
CMC could explode just as much as Taylor. So
He could. No, of course you could. Of course. It's just a matter of which one explodes more is really what you're looking at,
pretty much.
And does that and do the 13 points counteract it, Let me see this. Oh, we do have one super chat, which is I'm not surprised because it's from our resident troll ATL that was fucking unrelenting and exhausting. But we'll get to that in a second. We will just say at Daniel Silva 2481 said had Henderson, St. Brown, and McBride shook his head. Yeah, McBride, St. Brown came up late, came up lame. Henderson had the injury. Yeah, I mean, Ben, we ran into a lot of scenarios here where there were certain players who either we didn't believe in who came to the occasion, and some that let us down hard. Yeah.
I like right before we went live. I was watching that end of the Lions game again. That last play. I'm still trying to process everything that happened in that.
Yep.
It's like I don't get. I'm totally lost.
But again, that was a hell of a game. Me and Pete were on the live show in the morning on Sunday, and I kept saying, like put the. I will say I felt stronger about Gainwell than I did Warren, but I said put those running backs out there. High over under, the highest over under on the slate on Sunday. So that it was a wild game for sure, and we're all still processing that. And by the way, DK Metcalf, 2-game suspension. So which we'll see. But I'll just say this quickly. I mean, DK apparently has a history with this guy. He's told security in the past, back when he was with Seattle, about this guy. DK says he said some words that we cannot say on this channel, even though I could say fuck, bitch, and whatever, but he said other things you can't say. That guy says I didn't. Whatever, we know that goes, but DK suspended for 2 games. I'll just say this. The NFL has to set a precedent. You can't hit a fan.
No,
even if you completely whiff on it, you can't do it. So but we do have a super chat, which, by the way, if you do send in a super chat, we are guaranteed to answer. And it's our resident troll ATL, who still has not figured out how to figure out his handle, but has the Jags defense exposed Knicks and Denver. Now, Ben, can I give you some backstory on this?
Yeah.
Okay. So the backstory is this. He's in a group chat with me and Pete Pete is obviously a Broncos fan. Pete Nova. I have since been like, I'm not answering this chat anymore because I can't take it, because all ATL wants to do is just rip Bo Nix. So he was waiting for an opportunity. He asked me if we were going live today, and it was with this specific reason that he wanted to send in this super chat. He wishes that Pete would have been on to answer this, but I'll ask you, with all that being laid out there, have the Jacksonville Jaguars exposed Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos?
I wouldn't say exposed. I think the Jaguars are just legitimately that good. I mean, I had them winning the division before we even started the season. I've been on board with them. I thought they'd be a little bit higher scoring earlier in the season, but I mean, obviously it's turned on. Trevor Lawrence looks like a different quarterback. The defense is doing well. So I don't think it's so much of an exposure as it is just, running into a brick wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say this. I would say in terms of the Broncos losing to the Jaguars, I understand the Broncos have been great, but let's also understand the Jacksonville Jaguars have been better than advertised. They've been pretty damn good. They actually beat my 49ers way back early in the season. So, yeah, I'd say the Jacksonville Jaguars are a good team, and I would say that, no, I don't think they exposed Knicks in Denver. I just think that I'll say this. I'll say the Jacksonville Jaguars reminded us that the AFC and the NFC are more wide open than they've ever been before, because you can get a Denver Broncos team that has won a ton of games in a row, and then the Jaguars can come in and just beat them. That's it.
Say nope. Your streak is over.
That's it. Yeah. No mas. No soup for you. But yeah. So there's your answer. But Jamie, I'll get to you in a hot second. Sorry, Jamie. Sean Kemp, I always say, is it the real Sean Kemp, but it's probably not. Down 4, he has Kittle. I have Jonathan Taylor in my cooked fellas. If you're down 4 and you have Jonathan Taylor, I don't think you're cooked. I think you're sweating it out, but I don't think you're cooked.
I mean, yeah, I guess you want to hope that it's not a low scoring game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kittle's going to put up some points, but I don't think Kittle puts up Jonathan Taylor level points.
No, it's not likely.
And when there's only a 4-point gap, I think that's enough to gain ground. Let me go back up here. Jamie X, who's a member of the show, one of our favorites, CX. What are we drinking tonight, Hoff? Normally, I've actually done a very good job of not drinking on the show this year. I don't know if people notice that, but tonight I am a little stressed. So tonight there is a Coors Light in action. There is a Silver Bullet. Ben, what do you got? Because people hate when I say Coors Light. They scoff at me.
I'm doing my mint tea again with a little bit of that peppermint McGillicuddy's just to smooth it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me see this here. What else do we have here? All right. So KJ Frederick came in and said lost Hendo due to concussion, down 31 with Purdy and Pinheiro playing tonight. Do I pull out or wonder am I cooked? I don't think you're cooked. Pinheiro is in my top 12, which if you're in my top 12 in terms of kicker rankings, you're getting at least 8 points. Mm-hmm. That's what I at least envision when I put you in my top 12. So if I'm giving Eddie Pinheiro at least 8 points and I'm telling Purdy to pick up the rest, I don't think it's impossible. I just think this is another one. You got to sweat it out. Ben?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a sweat. Because, if Pinheiro gets 8, then you need 23 from Purdy. So, 250 yards, 2-3 scores would get it done, I believe. So,
yeah.
I mean, depending on the scoring setting, obviously, but.
Right, of course, yeah. The resident troll did come in earlier, said, do you feel the reason Jackson Dart didn't throw much was because they view him as Justin Fields who can run but don't trust in the pocket? So, again, this is another very illogical question. No, I don't think that I don't think the New York Giants view Justin Fields as view Jackson Dart as a Justin Fields. I think they view Jackson Dart as a quarterback that I think there's I think yesterday was part of trying to protect him. But I also think B, I believe in the philosophy, and I mean, Anthony would love this stuff because he's a big like conspiracy guy. I do think that some of the play calling yesterday had to kind of do with, hey, they're trying to get that number one overall pick. I mean, they have it right now. Um, but I also think that there was the opponent involved too. I think next week, what they play the Raiders, I believe.
Yep.
That being the Giants, I think we see a better week out of Jackson Dart next week in terms of fantasy. I have him in a super flex league. Um, so I would be looking to put him out there against the Raiders. I put him out there yesterday against instead of Rogers or Cousins, so that hurt me. But yeah, no, I no, I think they're just viewing Jackson Dart as a long-term investment that they would like to protect. That's kind of how I view it. But yeah,
Yeah,
Ben.
and you had a really tough Vikings defense that's like now hasn't given up a passing touchdown in 5 straight games. Um, I mean, it's just the defense. The Vikings defense has just been that solid, and yeah, you don't want to put Dart at risk. And maybe it was a little bit of like, well, we're in first. We got the first pick right now. Now it all comes down to Giants Raiders. Whoever loses
Right.
that game gets the number one pick.
Yeah, I'll just say this too before we move on to Daniel had a question. I think it's funny how New York sports media works. It's like a few weeks ago they were like, you have to stop putting Jackson Dart in these situations. Can't do it. You got to call the game differently. And then yesterday happened, which again, I know it's an extreme. But then all of a sudden they're like, you neutered Jackson Dart. You got to let him play his game. So I
Mhm.
was like, what do you want? Like, tell me what you want and we'll give it to you. But yeah, so that's the world I'm living in New York sports media. You know, Ben, do you have any comments on that since you don't have to deal with that horse shit?
Oh, the only horseshit we get to deal with is people getting all excited about seeing a backup quarterback play. You know,
Well, sounds better
yeah.
than what I had to deal with. Daniel comes in. Hendy going down hurt me. So I am up by 10.1. He has Pittman. I choose between Tyler Warren or Jennings. PP, this is a good question.
Yeah.
This is a good one. All right. Here we go, Ben. Now I'm going to make you put on your, I would say thinking cap, but I'll say you're thinking rabbit ears. Yeah, right, right. You got to tune the antennas.
There you go. Yep. Yeah.
It's
Gotta set it a
still
little
going the
bit
other
different.
way, but it's
Yep.
going to be how it's going to be. But all right. So, okay. You're up by 10.1 points. Your opponent's got Michael Pittman. He doesn't. Oh, he did say PPR. I apologize. So you have to start Tyler Warren or Jawan Jennings. Who do you go with?
Oh, up by 10. He's got Pittman. And I feel honestly, I feel like Pittman caps out at about 10, 11 points this week. So I mean, who you want to get you just want to get the safe play then. I think it's Tyler Warren. I think Jennings has better touchdown upside, but I don't think there's going to be enough deep passing volume for Pittman to do a whole lot more than that 10, 11, maybe 12 points. So I would go Warren because I feel like there's a better chance, he gets like 4 or 5 catches, 40, 50 yards, and then Jennings might get like one catch for 20, and maybe it's a touchdown, maybe it's not.
Yeah, up by 10.5. He's got Pittman. You know what? I think I go Jennings here. Call me a homer if you want, and I get it. It is probably a more of a touchdown dependent call. I'll definitely grant you that, Ben, for sure. I'll just say with no Pearsall for the umpteenth time this
Mhm.
season. Um, Not that I think we're gonna see a 10 reception day from Juwan Jennings, but I think we see enough in terms of touchdown upside, the lack of no Ricky Pearsall. And I think we could see Juwan Jennings get enough targets there to edge that out to make that good.
Mhm.
I'd go Juwan Jennings there.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a close call. I think we're doing that either way.
Mhm.
We do have another super chat. Surprise, surprise. It's from our resident troll ATL, but it is actually quite a normal question. He says, do you like any bets for tonight's game? So, um, Ben, I'll let you go first on this one. Do you have anything?
Well,
Or I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot. If not, I'll go first if you want.
yeah, go ahead because I got to pull mine up. I forgot what I had.
Okay. So I will go first here. I put in a very elaborate parlay. But I do have in there, I will say I like the under 4.5 catches for Tyler Warren. I think 4 is a sweet spot. I could see 5, obviously. It's why Vegas does 4.5. But I did, so I've got the under on 4.5 on Tyler Warren catches. And I also like, let me see this. Well, I obviously like the Niners minus 4.5. I like Christian McCaffrey over 62.5 rushing yards, and I like George Kittle with an anytime touchdown.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm the wrong guy to ask because I'm a Niner fan and I'm going to this game. But I will say I do also like the over on Michael Pittman receiving yards at 33.5 because the Niners secondary is not that great.
Yeah,
Um, so there is also that. But
I like
Ben,
that. I would add in over 1.5 field goals for Pinero.
okay,
And I mean, yeah, I like the Kittle anytime touchdown. And honestly, I feel like I'm seeing it on underdog. Alec Pierce 1.5 receptions. I think I would go over. If
sure.
that's really what it's at, then yeah, definitely think I would take the over on 1.5.
And not to say that you have this in front of you. I'm just saying. It's just a general question.
Hmm.
Because it's the hot topic. Let's be honest, people are excited to see Philip Rivers tonight.
Yep.
Would you bet anything proactive on Philip Rivers, or would you bet the under?
What's he
And
got like
again,
100?
it's kind of a broad question. I know I'm just laying it on you, so like I know you don't have it like
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm
looking
s-
at like,
I'm thinking in terms of like we went from Seattle last week. He's got one game under his belt, you know, being as
mhm.
sore as he might be because he's 44 years old. God bless him. I'll be 42 next week. I don't know how he does it, but yeah. I mean, would you have a parlay with anything Philip Rivers in it? Is kind of what I'm getting at.
I suppose if I had to pick something, maybe the over on the pass attempts at 28.5. I feel like they might have to throw a little bit more. Like I think he could get up to that 30 mark. So
Hmm. Okay.
might be a lot of
All
dink
right.
and dunk, but
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what the pass attempt is. If it happens, it happens. I agree. I don't know if I'd bet it, but I don't. When you think in terms of context of like if it's just dump offs like that, they
mhm.
could add up. You could do that. So yeah, I don't hate that. Let me see this. We answered that one already. Uh, Jeff Rogers said, "If I survive tonight, should I keep Parkinson or go after Strange or Juwan Johnson off of waivers?" You are a bit of a tight end expert. Um, I think I kind of know my answer here, but I'll let you take first crack at this.
Well, I never was in on. Okay, I was in on Parkinson last year, and
Right.
apparently that was like a year and a half too early. But he looked good up until this last week. I
Yeah.
think, gosh, it is really kind of a 50-50. I mean, you got Johnson, who's like, other than Olave, the only guy to really target for the Saints. And you got Strange, who had another really good looking week, and I've been on top of him all year. You know what? I think I would go with Strange. I might be a little biased because it's my boy Brent Strange, but I think the Jaguars offense is still firing off well. And I think he's a little bit, he got a higher ceiling than Johnson.
Yeah, I would say for sure I'm going with one of the other tight ends and not Parkinson.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'm just trying to pull something up here for next week. If I'm just looking at tight end strength of schedule for next week, what is it? We're talking about Saints, Jaguars. Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars have the 10th easiest matchup to tight ends, for tight ends, I apologize, at Indianapolis, who plays tonight against the 49ers. So maybe that number changes depending on what they do against George Kittle. But Yeah, I mean, Brenton Strange was the answer for me, but it's even more so the answer for me now. Now that I'm looking at that, um, I will say the Saints aren't far behind there, but yeah, give me Brenton Strange in that matchup.
Yeah.
So, the one thing I wanted to bring up to you, and I we talked about this yesterday on the live show, and since we don't have a lot of questions right now, I will just kind of ask you this. Certain players, like, you know what? And we use Justin Jefferson as an example. So, you being the
Mhm.
Vikings guy, I feel like this is a good spot to ask this question. Um, Jefferson, where was he this past Sunday? Where he was decent, right? Where was he?
6 catches, 85 yards.
11.5 points in half point formats. That was his first game with 10 or more points since week 9.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to ask you this because we're going to get to a point here. I mean, we're probably getting there already where some people are already thinking ahead to next year. If you're in a redraft league and use your Vikings hat to make an assessment, but don't use your Vikings hat to make a fandom call, how would you we all right, so I'll put it to you this way. Me and Pete, when we talked about it yesterday, we got to an end result that Justin Jefferson would be a back end of the first round, early second round play, a la Christian McCaffrey this past offseason. Would you agree with that sentiment, or do you think that he needs to be more respected? Um, there is also the disclaimer, too soon to tell with the quarterback position. But
Yeah.
what says you?
I think I think end of the first, early second is where he should probably go. I think the respect will come back on the name. It's like we've seen, like with Christian McCaffrey in the past. A couple years ago, he was, he just had a really good season, but people were scared of his injury status and this and that. And he started out like end of the first, and just kind of a little bit like this year. Started out, end of the first, early second, and moved
Sure.
up. And granted, a couple years ago when it happened, he completely tanked people's seasons again. He got all the way up to like first or second overall. um, I feel like it's going to be a move similar to that, where people are going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not taking him first round." But when people come around and they start drafting in July and in August, I think he's going to slowly move back up into the middle of the first round again. Just because, I mean, we see what he does, and even on this really down season, he only needs, I think, 42 yards in each of the last 2 games to hit 1,000 again. So
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. We'll see. I maintain back end first round, early second round, but like we saw with Christian McCaffrey, that turned out to be a very smart investment.
mhm.
So I think this is going to be a very fascinating year because we had a lot of players in that, and we have a question. I'll get to that in a second. We have a lot of players in the first round, early second round who did not perform up to ability. And there were circumstances involved, yada, yada, so on and so forth. It's not solely on the player. But I just think it's going to be fascinating to see where mock drafts go when we get into the summer. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But we got MVMMEV. It's a lot to work with, but the digits are 6373. He
Mhm.
says, I'm up by 1 point. My opponent has Jonathan Taylor, and I have Michael Pittman and Eddie Pinheiro. Eddie Muddy, Eddie Dinero. Do you guys think I can win? Now, I did ask him in the chat if it was PPR or not. He did not respond. But so, Ben, lay of the land. You're up by 1 point. You're going up against Jonathan Taylor, but you've got Michael Pittman and Eddie Pinheiro. Do you win or no?
You can. I
And
don't.
actually, it is
Okay.
PPR. He did just
All right.
chime in. So,
So it is PPR. So that's
yeah.
positive. But Pittman and Pinheiro. I mean, I'm seeing Pinheiro get around that 9, 10 points. Uh, then you need to have. So you're up. Then you'd be up by 11. Taylor versus Pittman.
I think you need a touchdown from Pittman to make
I
it.
think you definitely need a touchdown from Pittman.
Yeah.
You can get if Pittman can get a touchdown and more than a couple of catches, I think you got it. But I think it's going to be really, really, that's going to be a puckered up butthole all night.
That will be. I mean, that's a great way of putting it. But listen, this is why we do what we do.
Mhm.
We all have situations in which we were a little puckered in the butthole. But I will say the Niners defense. I mean, they only allowed 10 points to wide receivers last week. They had the bye week the week prior, then 9.5, but that was against the Browns. But weeks before that, you're looking at 20.5, 48.1, 33.5, 27.7, 44.9. So the Niners, listen, I know Robert Saleh is they're happy to have him back in the building, but with all the injuries, that's a defense that can be had at the wide receiver position. So but again, kind of like what I was talking about with Ben, and Ben agreed. I think you're looking at you need a touchdown from Michael Pittman to feel comfortable. And even then, who knows? But you need Pinheiro to be Pinheiro, which means a floor of 8 points. If I pull this up here, where are my kicker points here from Mr. Eddie Money? Eddie Money has in 11 games, he's got 10 or more points in 7 out of 11 games that he's played this year. So
Mhm.
you need that performance, and you need a Pittman touchdown, and you've got a shot. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can get. I mean, I'm looking at it. Yeah, 14, 14, 12, 11 in 5 of the last 7 games he's played. Then you got that 1 and 2 in there. So
Right.
I think Paneiro's a great kicker. I think he's a great fantasy kicker. Not
Sure.
worried about him at all. It's just, will Pittman get enough to make it happen for you against Jonathan Taylor too?
I agree.
Yeah,
And he's saying with a lot of 100s, so he tends to agree with us. But listen, man, we'll be rooting for you for sure.
absolutely.
Hope you punch your ticket.
Panero
We
gets
got
8 field goals tonight. Just do it.
that's right. Just do it up. Fine. As long as the Niners win selfishly for this guy, whatever.
Sure.
I don't care.
18 to 17. Let's just call it right now. 8.
Okay. Well, I need some Kittle stuff in there for. Never mind. We're getting complicated. TDOB1911. Hey guys, do you think I win in a PPR up by 44? My opponent has CMC going 6 points, reception and rushing touchdown. So 6 points for a touchdown, which is pretty standard. Yeah,
Mhm.
we obviously some leagues have 4-point passing touchdowns, but up by 44 in a PPR league. You're looking at. I don't want to listen. I'll say this, and then I'll let Ben go here. I don't want to discredit. Let's not. I know Christian McCaffrey's great, but let's not forget that the Indianapolis Colts they've done pretty well. They are towards the back end in terms of points allowed to the running back position. Only allowed 5.5 points last week, 21 points a week prior, 16.6. They haven't had a week in which they've allowed 30 or more points to a running back. That's half point scoring, not even full point. But yeah. You guys think I win up by 44? Yeah, I think you still win. I think it's a puckered up butthole spot, but I think you win, Ben.
I think you grab a can of root beer or beer, crack it open, sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, 44 is a lot, man.
A lot of points.
Yeah,
Even in
I would even
PPR.
say 34. I think it'd be all right. You're basically talking about him being one of the best players in fantasy on the week. That's what you're talking about with that
Yep.
amount of points. So I think you're okay, but we've seen crazier things happen in fantasy football. So I think you need to keep an eye on it. But in PPR, do I have a good chance of JT outscoring George Kittle by at least 4 points? In PPR, I would think you do, right?
I,
I
I think
mean,
it's a good chance.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good job. PPR league, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah, Kittle will do some damage, but at least 4 points over a tight end when you're one of the best running backs in fantasy football. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, let me see this here. Talked about points allowed to running backs. In terms of the 49ers, 25.6 last week, 19.9 the week prior, 15.7. Then you have back-to-back weeks of 20 points or more, so they can be had. I talked about it. Their tackling skills are not the best. This 49er defense and the linebacker core. Eric Kendrick has been activated for tonight, but still, you're missing a lot there in terms of linebackers. And when you're going up against a guy like Jonathan Taylor, he could break one. So, yeah, I think you're going to be okay. So,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be a realist here with my fandom. That's why I'm the FF realist, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally get it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. He did say Modelo to the rescue. You said a beer or a root beer. He's
Yeah.
going Modelo.
Some people don't like beer, so go with a root beer because everybody likes root beer.
This is true. My father loved root beer. Actually, my father was a big cream soda guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So give him the float with the cream soda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then he used to force me to eat White Castle, but now I feel like I'm in a therapy session. So we'll kind of ignore that. So, we're on to the finals here in fantasy football. You're in no leagues in which you're in the finals?
No, yeah, no, I got bumped to my last league this week, so but
Terrible.
it happens. But I still got the chance of in one league getting the point title, which gets me like twice my entry fee back. So
Okay. That's good. But all right. So I do want to bring this up actually while we wait for another question or two, and we'll see how long we keep this going.
yeah.
Because we are we'll eat some dinner, we'll watch some football, but I do want to bring up actually because one part of the news here is Trevor Lawrence again goes off. He had 31.2 points last week. This past Sunday, I apologize. 44.3 points a week prior. That accounts for 25% of the points that he has scored over this fantasy football season. I'm kind of curious for your thoughts here. And again, this wasn't something that I prepped for you, but I mean, are you putting Trevor Lawrence out there? Is he a must start in your fantasy football final? And I guess that's kind of dependent on who you have. I mean, right now, 15th in terms of strength of schedule up against the Indianapolis Colts who played tonight. But how do you treat a Trevor Lawrence here?
I mean, they got a lot to play for, going into the next week. They can lock up the division with a win, uh, and spoil Indy's playoff hopes at the same time, which are basically over anyways. But yeah, he's been on fire, obviously. 8 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, over 300 yards a game in the last 2. It's just it's all coming together for Jacksonville. And Liam Cohen has done an outstanding job over there as the coach. So I think if you need a quarterback and he's out there, I would absolutely consider him. I would probably even, if my opponent needs a quarterback, I might go pick him up just to block him.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And that's a good point. We're in the business now of where you're trying to block people from that you're in the playoffs with from getting other players. That's like I picked up 2 different defenses. Now, I did screw up on which defense I wound up dropping. I did wind up starting the Bills over the Saints. Should have started the Saints, but be that as it may, this is blocking season because listen, you could pick up a guy and you could drop him, but you know what? As long as the other guy doesn't have him, then you've done your job. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, good point, Ben, on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I guess we'll start to slowly close out the show between your voice and me wanting to eat. But yeah, and anything you're looking forward to tonight at all?
I just want to see some fun game. I want to see as many people in hit chat here that need what they need to happen. Some Monday Night Miracles, as it were. So rooting for everybody there. It's the nice thing about not having anything on the line. I can just watch the game and enjoy it. So
Yeah, I'm a double whammy, which is why I have something here while I'm recording, because not only are the Niners my favorite team, but I have two teams that are already in the finals locked up. I have another two teams that I need stuff to happen tonight to get in.
mhm.
So I could wake up tomorrow and have four teams in the finals, or I could have two.
Hey, two's better than me. So
Right, but four would be even better than you.
would be that would
It
be
would be.
awesome.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome. All right. Listen, the questions dried up. We're at 40 minutes.
Yeah,
Ben's voice, what it is. I'm hungry, selfishly. Had a long day of work. Ben's had a long day of work. Ben is
yeah,
Ben, what you if you don't mind me
yeah,
broadcasting that,
yeah.
you're playing a Santa of sorts, no?
Of sorts, yeah. I'm the one. I play one in the purple getup. I do drive for FedEx
There you
for
go.
my day job. Um, actually, did not have a 10-hour day today, which was amazing. First time that's happened in about 3 weeks. So,
Hmm. Jeez.
yeah, no, I think I had one day under 12 hours last week. So, but hey, the paychecks are looking really nice now. So that's good. And my last of my Christmas gifts show up tomorrow, so I'll be ready for the holidays. Uh, and yeah, so it's nice. I also got to meet Joe Mauer again the other day, deliver a package to his house. So
Nice. All right.
hmm
That'd be a
yep.
Minnesota legend right there,
No,
Joe
yeah,
Mauer.
absolutely. I know where Joe Mauer lives. I know where TJ Hawkinson lives. JJ
Oh,
McCarthy. I've
oh,
delivered all their houses.
okay. Well, let's not broadcast too much because some
No,
people might ask,
no, they can ask. I won't say anything other than they live in the state of Minnesota. So
that's got to be a very serious super chat to be able to ask that question.
you can
Not
ask.
that
Doesn't
you're
mean
going to
I'm
get an
gonna.
answer you
No,
want,
no,
but yeah.
no.
But yeah, but we'll broadcast anyway. But all right. All
They
right.
live
No.
that way.
They're over there. They're over down yonder.
Yep.
But all right. All right. Listen, we've had fun doing these recaps. We'll do another one next week too. Before we close out our Monday recaps. Uh we do have a appreciate y'all and the props. Yeah. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Appreciate you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope everybody has a good time tonight. We hope everybody wins money, unless you're playing against me or unless you're playing against Ben, even though Ben said he's got nothing to vie for. But
Yeah.
Ben's just going to put in a nice parlay and make $30 million, and
I guess
that's
I
it.
can root for my wife's best ball team. She's still in the playoffs in one league. So
Oh, all right. Well, that's important too. All
yep.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually, in closing, I'll say I had a team that was still in the best ball, Millie Maker,
hmm
on underdog.
Yep.
But, I needed Lamar Jackson, and he got, obviously, the back contusion. So,
I
that'll do
missed
it.
this
But,
week by less than 1.5 points in the best ball mania.
yeah.
Yeah. 1.5
Well,
points got me cut.
well, try again next year. If
Yeah.
at first you don't succeed, try again.
hmm
We also got thanks for all the help this season. I've only lost one game this whole season. Hot damn.
Excellent.
Good for you, man.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great to
Happy
hear.
to help. Yeah. That's awesome. Good. Good. And that's why you stick with us all off season long. We're going to be here all year and help you guys out. But until next time, stay thirsty, be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the flip side, and cheers. And I'll click it.